Test, test, check, 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 test, testing. Testing, just checking volume, testing.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gerald Hoffert. I've been a good friend of Larry's for the last 20-odd years. We shared some good stories together through the years. This time, I'd like to give my sincere condolences to Bev and also families of Larry who are here today, brothers or sisters, brother-in-laws, and family, sons, daughters, stepsons, stepdaughters. My deepest sympathies to all of you. With that, I'll ask for the entrance song of Go Rest High on the Mountain by Vince Gill.
I know your life on earth was troubled. Only you could know the pain. You weren't afraid to face the devil. You were no stranger to the rain. So go rest high on that mountain. Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven and shout love for the Father and the Son. Oh, how we cried the day you left us. We gathered round your grave to grieve. Wish I could see the angels' faces when they hear your sweet voice sing. So go rest high on that mountain. Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven and shout love for the Father and the Son.
Thank you. Now I would like to call on Chad Bender, Larry's son, Donna Turner, her sister, and Melissa Turner, his niece, for a tribute.
No, I don't eat these. Well, thanks for everyone for coming out for Larry. I'm his oldest son, Chad. It's with great sorrow and much love that we announced the passing of Larry Peter Bender, age 71, of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Larry passed away in the presence of the Lord on Thursday, February 26, 2026. Larry was born in Neudorf, Saskatchewan on December 30th, 1954. He grew up on the Bender family farm west of Neudorf. He was one of 5 children born to Lorraine and Robert, older brothers Bob, Gary, older sister Diane, who passed away in infancy, and a younger sister, Donna. He attended county school at Earnscliffe for grades 1 to 3, at least that's what he said. Wolseley School for grade 4. That's to be debated, I guess, too. Neudorf School for grades 5 to 12. During his school years, Larry enjoyed playing ball and curling. Key word, enjoyed. Talent-wise, was debated. During grade 12, Larry left school and moved to Regina, Saskatchewan, where he was employed in 1974. He moved to North Battleford to work with his brother Bob, hauling mobile homes as far as CP Rail docks in Vancouver, BC. Larry moved to Neudorf to raise his family on the farm, Chad, Amanda, and Michael, and became a proud grandfather in 2012 to Bria, later Haley, Burke, and Luke. He worked at the Saskatchewan Wheat Pool while also farming. Farming was Larry's first passion. He farmed on the family farm from 83 to 2004. Larry worked part-time in Neudorf Bar from 97 to 04. And in 04, he moved to Belcaris and operated the Belcaris Hotel. And I see some of the regulars in here today. I'm not sure if he's going to be serving any beer today, but he loved you all. So the years in Moose Jaw were spent with his companion Bev and stepdaughter Kiana, who played a large role in his life right until the very end. He also enjoyed the company of Bev's older children, Cord, Amber, and Cord's family. Larry made many friends while living in Moose Jaw, both through his job and through Bev. Larry's predeceased by his parents, Lorraine and Robert Bender, brothers Bob and Gary, sister Diane in infancy. Larry will be forever missed by his companions in life, Bev, children, myself, Amanda, Charlie, Millen, Michael, Becky, Bender, stepchildren, Cord, Crystal, Amber, Kiana, Zach, grandchildren, Bria, and Burke Millen, Haley Woods, and Luke Bender, Asher, Scarlett, Avery, Maverick, and sister Donna, and sister-in-law Sharon, as well as nieces and nephews.
Hi, my name is Donna, and as Larry would say, this is my baby sister. I would like to share a few childhood memories growing up with Larry. One of Larry's earlier childhood stories involved Cousin Jack. Well, in fact, many of them involve Cousin Jack. Larry and Jack were not yet school-aged, maybe 4 years old at the time. Mom told my older brother to go gather the eggs. He came back and said, "There's no eggs." Mom was very annoyed and warned him that if she had to go gather the eggs, somebody would get a licking. When Mom went out, she found Larry and Jack planting eggs in the garden, very excited that they were going to grow chickens for her. Well, Gary wasn't the one that got the licking that day. Speaking of Jack, one day Jack found Uncle Gus's tobacco. He saddled up his pony and rode over to our place. Larry and Jack rolled some cigarettes and enjoyed their smoke. When Jack left for home, he put the tobacco in his back pocket. He rode home, and if the tobacco didn't fall out of his pocket and fell onto the ground, and Uncle Gus found it. And I'm sure you guys know the rest of the story. Lickings were a reoccurring theme in Larry's life. Larry, who was maybe 5 years old at the time, laughed as he reminisced about getting a licking from Grandpa Bender. He was probably 5 years old at the time. Grandma and Grandpa Bender would come out to the farm on Sunday afternoon after church. Grandpa always dressed in his Sunday best clothes and always wore his nicest church cap. When he bent over, Larry grabbed his cap, ran to the outhouse, threw it down the toilet hole. So they fished the cap out of the hole, washed it off really good, and then Larry said he got quite a licking from Grandpa. Larry also instigated what I can say was probably my only licking from my dad. We came home from school one day and Mom and Dad aren't there, and he comes up with the bright idea, "Well, let's go have a cigarette." I said, "No, I don't want to smoke." "Yeah, let's go have a smoke." "No, I don't want to have a smoke." Okay, he convinced me to go have a smoke. So we go upstairs, and he hands me the cigarette, and he hands it to me backwards, and he burns my face. So when Mom and Dad get home, I'm sitting on Dad's lap saying, "Look I got 95% on my exam." And he said, "What's that on your face?" "Well, look at my exam." Well, we both got a licking that day. Mechanical curiosity started at an early age for Larry. I was probably 4 or 5 years old when cousins Vicky and Jack gave me a tricycle, and I might add this was the only bike I ever had growing up. I rode that tricycle all afternoon, but the next morning Larry got outside earlier than I did, and to my dismay, he had the wheels taken off the bike. When he put them back, there were extra parts, and needless to say, the bike never ever worked properly again. Apparently, even in adulthood, it took him many tries to get things to work properly. Back to Cousin Jack. One evening, his and our parents weren't home, so Jack comes over with his dad's truck. These two brainstorm, and they decide they should cruise up and down to the Uyghur corner and back to our yard. Once again, I got conned into this, and it took me actually till adulthood to figure out they did that so I couldn't squeal on them. And Larry takes one vehicle and Jack takes the other, and they cruised up and down the road making donuts and leaving skid marks. On the last trip back to the yard, Jack, and unfortunately I was with him, hit the ditch. Well, then those two go into panic mode, grabbing tree branches and trying to cover up all the tracks. Like, really, did they think Mom and Dad were that dumb?
I think Jack's got to plead the fifth here.
So then the next day, Aunt Winnie comes over, and Mom and her keep drilling me. What happened last night? What's going on? And I started to cry, and I said, "I can't tell." They said, "Why can't you tell?" I said, "Well, if I tell, I'm going to get a licking." And they said, "You won't be the one getting the licking." All Larry's friends knew that his Barracuda was his pride and joy. You could always hear him turn the 5-mile corner when he went to town. Jack told me once when him and Larry were coming home from Regina, the power poles were going by like fence pickets. Larry was slow to anger, and the one time that I remembered him being very angry was the day that I bought back Bob's car into his precious Barracuda. He was not a happy camper. During high school, Larry and Jack cut the grass at Lyon, Zion, and St. John cemeteries. I'm sure they did it so they could cruise around, and Larry also said it was for beer money.
This is true, they passed it down to us.
Yeah. In the early 80s, I had a brand new Dodge four-wheel drive short box truck. I went out to the farm one day and his brother-in-law Ed was visiting. Larry asked if he can give Ed a ride in my truck. And being the nice sister I am, I said, sure. Oh, and did I mention that it had rained lots, and that we lived in Gumbo land, and Larry didn't drive on the road? No, went into the summer fallow field, and they were gone for about an hour. When they got back, the whole truck was covered in mud, and I mean everywhere. You couldn't see a piece of paint on it. It was just mud. And Larry says, oh, by the way, your four-wheel drive doesn't work. The linkage fell off. Well, that's true. Larry often went to Grandma Tressel's with his friends and drank beer back then. I'm sure the evening of the 26th, Larry was sitting around with Grandma Tressel and Bob and having a beer. Larry was a compassionate person, loved his family deeply, and will be forever remembered and missed by his family. Go rest high on that mountain, big bro.
So I just want to start off by thanking everyone for being here today. For everyone who doesn't know me, I'm Larry's niece, Melissa. I'm going to start my tribute off on a little lighter note and share a little story. So growing up, Jack again, once told me I have a lead foot like my Uncle Larry. So when we were on our way to Moose Jaw a couple weeks ago, I might have been driving a little bit over the speed limit, and all of a sudden there was flashing red and blue. One stupid ticket later, as my 4-year-old called it, and the cruise control set its speed limit, and we were back on our way to see Uncle Larry, so he thought that was kind of funny. I really didn't think we'd all be sitting here today. I just assumed we had more time. That's the thing about life. We always think we have more time until we don't. During the last visit I had with Uncle Larry, just a few short weeks ago, I told him I loved him and that we were off to Arizona, but would come to see him once we were back. He told me not to worry and have a good trip, not knowing it'd be the last time I get to see him. But I wish I could tell him one last time how much I love him, what a wonderful human being he was, how his kindness was evident to everyone he met, and how despite all his hardships, his positive attitude distracted from all he was going through. Reading through the comments left on his obituary, one really stuck out to me. He was very good at his job, caring, thoughtful, and remembered people's names. He always smiled, a very happy fellow. And that was Uncle Larry. He showed kindness to everyone. He made you feel like you mattered. He loved his family and friends fiercely. He made friends wherever he went. He was so proud of his kids, his bonus kids, and his grandchildren. They all meant the world to him. And Bev, you have truly been a blessing in his life. His love for you was undisputable. What a blessing to have known him. Turnpike Troubadour said it best, you never know till the end, my friend, what your love is really worth. So adios, farewell, goodbye, sayonara, until we meet again. Say hi to Grandma. Make sure you call her Ruby for us. I know she's waiting for you with open arms.
Thank you, Chad, Donna, and Melissa. That was a very nice tribute. Now we have a slide presentation. For those of you that are facing away from the screen, you just turn your chairs so you can have a good look at it, and we will now start the slide presentation. Thank you.
Yes, I understand that every life must end. As we settle on, I know someday we must go.
Oh, I'm a lucky man to count on both hands the ones I love.
Some folks just have one, you know, others they got none. Stay with me, oh, let's just breathe. Practiced are my sins, never gonna let me win.
Under everything, just another human being.
Yeah, I don't wanna hurt her. There's so much in this world to make me believe. Stay with me, you're all I see.
Did I say that I need you? Did I say that I want you? Oh, if I didn't, I'm a fool, you see. No one knows this more than me. And I come clean.
I wonder every day as I look upon your face.
Everything you gave and nothing you would take on.
Nothing you would take.
Everything you gave. Did I say that I need you? Oh, did I say that I want you? Or if I didn't, I'm a fool, you see. No one knows this more than me. As I come clean out. Nothing you would take, everything you gave.
Love you till I die, meet you on the other
Now we have a song, When I Get Where I Am Going, by Brad Paisley and Dolly. One of Larry's favorite songs. I'm sure he pulled it off the jukebox that's in the garage at the farm that used to be in the hotel in Belcaris.
When I get where I'm going, on the far side of the sky, the first thing that I'm gonna do is spread my wings and fly. I'm gonna land beside a lion and run my fingers through his mane, where I might find out what it's like to ride a drop of rain. Yeah, when I get where I'm going, struggles I have carried all these years, and I'll leave my heart wide open. I will love and have no fear. Yeah, when I get where I'm going, don't cry for me down here. I'm gonna walk with my granddaddy, and he'll match me step for step. And I'll tell him how I've missed him every minute since he left. And then I'll hug his neck. Yeah, when I get where I'm going, there'll be only happy tears. I will shed the sins and struggles I have carried all these years, and I'll leave my heart wide open. I will love and have no fear. Yeah, when I get where I'm going, don't cry for me down here. With so much pain and so much darkness in this world we stumble through, all these questions I can't answer, so much work to do. But when I get where I'm going, and I see my Maker's face, I'll stand forever in the light of His amazing grace. Yeah, when I get where I'm going, there'll be only happy tears. I will love and have no fear. Yeah, when I get where I'm
At this time, I'd like to call on Larry's stepdaughter, Kyan, for a poem in honor of Larry.
Hi, I'm Kyan. I'm just reading this poem for the first time right now, so you have to give me guys a break. Just a farmer, you said. And I laughed because I knew all the things that farmers must be able to do. They must study the land and watch the sky and figure out just when is the right time and why. To sow and to plant, to buy and to sell, and to care for the livestock and maintain the well. And then there's the books that the farmers must keep to pay all those taxes and be able to sleep. And you know all the fixings that farmers must do when machines like angry monsters break a gasket or two. Larry fixed a lot of stuff on the farm. And he also broke a lot of stuff, so I don't know. I guess when God needed folks to care for his earth, he chose just farmers because he knew their true worth. That's all for now. Am I supposed to say anything else right now? I'll say something later.
Thank you, Kyan. I guess that's why my friendship with Larry was maybe so strong. Both of us, our first love was the farm. Both of us had to leave the farm earlier in life because of times and the economy. But with that, the other thing that Larry and I shared at times was a good story. And one of the last stories I remember sharing with Larry in the hospital, and he had a good hearty laugh with me over it, was this grade 3 or 4 boy had come home, and he was very proud, very happy. Daddy, I got a part in the play at school. Oh, Daddy said, what was that part? Well, he said, I'm the husband of a marriage of 25 years. Oh, Dad said, I'm very, very happy for you. But maybe next year they'll give you a talking part. And after listening to his sister, I knew why Larry had a good hearty laugh. Thank you. So at this time, I'd like you to join me in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. At this time, we have a period of time. We're going to call it the open mic. So if there's anyone that wants to come up and share a story, please do so at this time. Is there anyone out there that wants to share a story of their times with Larry?
Hi, my name is Molly. I'm best friends with Bev Jacobs, or Denemy, sorry. And grew up close together. And today, that's a part of his life, I know. He had a wonderful family. Donna, you have a wonderful family, all the kids. And this is only the part I know about, though. So today we celebrate your life, Larry. A hard day to say goodbye to a wonderful and caring man who was an amazing person with a big and caring heart. He struggled for so very long, but always bounced back. Every day he woke up with a thankful heart. You were such a blessing. He never complained, just smiled and continued working on the farm and at the co-op. I'll miss you so much. I was so happy to have known you. It was an honor and a privilege to be your friend. Soar high and watch over your partner, Bev, and all your families. I know I sure will miss you at the annual summer party. You're always working so hard to make others' lives better. You enjoyed life every day. I appreciate the times together with you on the farm with my best friend, Bev, and Mama Mavis. Thanks.
Oh, Larry, don't worry, I won't be long today. You may not know that, first of all, Larry was a second cousin of mine, and him and Jack turned out okay despite a lot of challenges. And Jack is my first cousin, and I said I'd be short today. I'm a politician, I'm a political ghost. You probably don't know that Larry was also a politician. He was so honest that you hardly ever noticed that he was a politician. But I drove from Melville today to honor Larry. He was part of the constituency that I represented, and he was on my team. He was a member, you didn't know that he was in the Army. He was a member of the Blue Army that helped elect Grant Devine and people like myself. And I'm acknowledging and paying tribute to Larry, because without people like Larry who help keep politicians in line, nothing would have got done. And Larry was part of an organization, his parents as well. And I want you to recognize that there are good politicians, and Larry was one of them. So Larry, thank you very much from the Progressive Conservative Party, from my old buddy Grant Devine, and all the people that you helped elect and influence to a good government. Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on Larry's behalf? Thank you, Kyan.
I wrote this morning, so if it's not very good. I would say I'm Larry's daughter, but I'm Bev's youngest child. I'm Kyan. So Larry was my dad for a long time, so I'll have my little note. So I got a lot this last week or so. What was Larry to me? Questions that I received a lot lately, and my response was always he was my dad since middle school. Larry owned the bar in Belcaris. Before him and my mom were together, I remember him feeding me beef jerky. I think he was already putting in a good word for me. I'm very food motivated, so he knew how to get on my good side. So I always looked forward to seeing him at the bar. Yeah, I don't remember the details of how they met exactly because I knew Larry for a long time before him and my mom ever got together. But like Gerald has a good story that he said recently about it. One story I had about going to the bar, which I shouldn't have been as a middle schooler, but I went frequently to see Larry because I liked seeing him lots, and my mom was there as well. So I went to go pick up some deep fried food because he always had wing night and he had all that stuff, and I loved going there to get it weekly. And so I got in the go-kart, I went to go pick up stuff, got pulled over by the police on my way to the bar in my go-kart just behind it anyways. And so I had to explain to them that, I was trying to say in the best way I could that I was going to the bar, but for a good reason. And I remember going in there and telling Mom and Larry and them laughing, and luckily I didn't get a ticket or anything, but Larry, lots of people describe him too as like a very quiet, friendly guy. He is very hardworking. He did lots of work around the farm. There's a thing in middle school that they made us do, a time capsule project that that I think my mom collected letters from lots of people for. I know probably Gerald had to write some and lots of people, and then we were supposed to open them when we were in grade 12. And so Larry had written me one when he was in, when I was in middle school that I opened when I was in grade 12. I think it was when him and my mom were just getting together, but I'll read a little bit. He put some things in caps, so I think those are the most important. Tonight on the way to Regina, as you were driving, you commented that your mother and I were your parents. Well, until I screwed that up anyways, not sure how he screwed it up, by the way, because they're together for the rest of the time, but that brings a smile to my heart. I know it was a warning to me, a warning that I take seriously, as I do not want to lose your mother or you. I love your mother very much, and even though I'm not your father, I love you like you're my own. Sorry. I'll pull it together. Anyways, that was really nice. He said lots of other stuff, but that was the stuff that was in bold and caps, so I think it was important. Larry came to Moose Jaw with my mom and I when we moved I think I was in grade 10. And I take comfort in that he didn't suffer long in his final days. I got to spend lots of time with him, going to Olive Garden and different places in the final weeks. And there's always lots of family, lots of support at the end. And I got to see lots of people I haven't seen in a long time, which is really nice. And I just thank you guys for all coming. And I'll miss him. But thanks.
Thank you, Kyan. The part of the story that Kyan was referring to, and I'll bring this out with Bev's permission now. I don't think Larry shared this with very many of us out in Belcaris, but he did with me one evening. He said, Gerald, I was not in the dating game for a long, long time. I didn't know how I was going to go about it. So this is what Larry did. He went to the office, because Bev was working at the hotel with him and bartending. And on his computer, he wrote a little note that if she would be agreeable, he wouldn't mind taking her out on a date. And then he went out and said that he's having trouble with his computer. Bev, could you please go in and see if you can fix my computer for me? So in goes Bev, and first thing she sees up on the screen is this letter from Larry asking her out on a date. So I don't know how Larry did that, but he did share that with me, and I'd like to share that with you today on his final day of remembrance. At this time, I'd like to call Larry's partner, Bev. She has a tribute to Larry.
Hello, I'm Bev. If you don't know who I am, maybe you shouldn't be here. Okay. Anyway, the story wasn't quite like that. Anybody knows me? Larry's high tech, I'm low tech. I'm high animal, he's low animal. So when he asked me to go, he says, he was wandering around the bar, and I asked him, well, what's the matter with you? Because he was not acting his normal self. And he said he was having trouble with the computer. And I thought, no, that's funny. He knows computers. He's high tech. And he says, well, maybe you should go check it. And I said, why would you ask me? I don't check computers. I know nothing about computers. He says, no, maybe go check. So I go in the office, and he says, if the screen is black, wiggle the mouse. Because I don't know anything about computers. So be darned if it wasn't black. I wiggled that mouse. I said, well, when I went around the corner, I said, does it have a tail? So anyway, we went, and I looked at it, and he had a bunch of stuff written on there about how he liked the way I interacted with people and a bunch of other gushy stuff. And at the bottom line, it said, would you consider dating me? And I was like, holy shit, this one. I never really seen this one coming. And I thought of every reason why we shouldn't be together. And I gave him every reason we shouldn't be together. But he still insisted we should be together. And it was a good choice. He bounced I told him, my life is crazy, but he bounced it. When I was upset, and I used him I said, I don't expect you to fix my life, just be my sounding board. So that's what he did. And we had a good life. We knew his life. He had medical issues for a long time before anybody else knew. We did medical stuff. We talked about his life. We talked about what he wanted. We talked about quality over quantity. He demolished everything. He fixed things. He took them apart. He redid them. Right, Chad? Yeah. He came in one day and he told me, the swath thing just went like this. And I said, how did it do that? And he goes, well, they just go like this. And I said, phone Chad. Phone Hank. Because he needed that. He was always positive. Even in the end, he still thought that there was hope. He was happy. I've actually seen him only upset 3 times. 3 times where he's mad, and he was mad. But he cooled really fast. Twice was when we were in Belcaris, and once later on when he wasn't well. And his technology wouldn't work right. His phone, so he was upset. And I don't blame him. We lived on the farm. He loved the animals. He loved the things. If I was having trouble with the Cayenne, or somebody would say to me, Mom, this happened. And I'd say, go to Larry. I said, phone Larry, get his perspective, because he's got a male perspective, and it may be different than mine. So go talk to him. and he was always willing. He was on speed dial for any of the kids. Desiree's vehicle wasn't working, and when he was in the hospital here at the very last, he insisted that people call her and find out how her vehicle was doing. He always cared about everyone. His family, the Co-op family, they became his family. They were everything to him. They helped him on times, and if he was having a rough day, I would just have to phone and say, hey, could one of you guys reach out to him? And they reached out to him every time. They were always there for him. They supported him even when he wasn't there working and we'd stop for gas, they all treated him good. He just loved them so much. They were the best thing that ever happened. That group of people in the Co-op are amazing, amazing people, and I will forever appreciate you guys. Yeah. And Gerald here and Susie, they were relieved when I finally left Belcaris. They didn't have to make any more runs to the hospital with me and stuff. But Larry would make it. He'd say, I think I should go start the truck. And I said, I'm okay. And they'd say, no, I'm going to start the truck and just get ready. And I said, okay, you just do what you got to do. But he was always there for you. If anybody asked for help, he always helped out. He's just the most amazing man. He said to me, the biggest compliment to everything he said, he told me, I wished I could have met you 30 years earlier. And then he said to me, just before he passed away, he said, you were the best thing in my life. And that's all you can ever ask for, is somebody to love you that much. And we could talk about anything, say anything. Like, it was just good. We were always joking. Every day we went to bed with a good laugh and a good joke. And he was working at the Co-op one day, and I figured he was just kind of a little down, but he was working. So there was a bunch of people in the Co-op. I came in, and I slipped him my phone number, and I said, hey, you want a good time tonight? And some of the others were like, oh, my God, she just hit on that guy. They didn't know that. But we were always pulling jokes like that. It was like when they first started going out, we were at the Co-op in Fort Capel, and we were going through the tail. And they always say, the Co-op people do, they say, what's your number? And you give it, and then they say, are you Larry? And then he'd say yes, and I go, that's not what you told me last night. I thought you were another guy. And Larry was like, what? And then he goes out to, oh, my God. Like, I said, and this is just the beginning. And he was always joking, making jokes about whatever. One day we were walking through the mall, and this is a joke in the family. He said, I looked at him, I said, what are you doing? And he goes, here he is wearing my pants. And I said, what are you doing wearing my pants? He says, well, I fit in them, and they were good. Like, okay. And so then the night that he passed, I just jumped and got my stuff and went back down, and I was going like, what the hell, I got his pants on. So then I was wearing his pants that night. Like, I said, whatever works. How many know about Donna and her bicycle that got dismantled? I'm sure her family's heard about once, maybe twice, many times. Well, Larry liked to take things apart, and poor Donna, it was like, hey, do you want to go get me some? Yeah, Donna complained about Larry dismantling her bike. She always had a bike, and it was a problem. Like, you know, he couldn't get it back together, and then it wiggled, and it wobbled, and it had these problems, and every time, the last time Jack was there, and he said to Donna, Jack again, okay, Donna, are you going to get over it? It's only been 60 years. And Larry was laughing. Like, Larry, every time this comes up, he laughs. Yeah. So Larry and I discussed this. Larry and I discussed this. Larry and I discussed this, and we were going to present it for her birthday, but we never quite got that far. So I don't know if she can put it together, but I'm sure somebody else can lose some parts. Yeah. Anyway, so that was that. And the only other thing is, Larry's last big joke was, February the 17th, I went home and I heard meh. No, oh no. Then I heard meh. No, no. So I went and looked over the fence and there was a baby lamb. And he said to me one day, like 5 months previous, oh, by the way, honey, the ram got out. And he thought it was a big joke. Well, it obviously did its job because I have 2 babies that came very early. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming. Larry loved you guys. He thought the world of everybody. And he's up there probably drinking with Stuart and some of the others from Belcaris that are waiting for him. But that's it. Thank you very much for coming. Thanks for being here, and thanks for supporting Larry and my family and their family and everybody's family. We're all family. And you don't have to be blood to be family. You just have to be family. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. I just got a question. This is Bones. This is Bones. If you don't know who Bones is, Larry, when he was really sick, his dog passed away and the other dog passed away. And so he was always talking about a dog. He wanted a dog. But then he remembered he couldn't walk a dog, he couldn't feed a dog, he couldn't pick up dog poop. So when I went out one day, I said to him, he was sitting outside the garage having a smoke, and I said, I got you a dog. He goes, oh, no. I said, yeah, I got you a dog. So he says, I don't want it. He didn't want to walk it and all this stuff. I said, don't worry, you won't have to walk it. So I went and got it. He laughed, and he laughed, and he laughed, and this became his pet. It followed him around the yard. Everybody thought to move it. Some people wondered if he pet the skin off of it. They wanted to know how come, right? And so then Bones got cold. So then friends bought Bones a thing, and we got Bones boots. And so this dog went under the tree with him, over to the other place, in the house with him, down the basement with him. You never knew where Bones was going to show up. Yeah. Just wait here. I'll put Bones back. Asher, did Asher want to say something? Asher, you want to say something? He's good? Asher's gone shy. Any other questions? Oh, the other thing was we were talking about Denise. Where's Denise? Oh, there's Denise, way over there. Denise has been great support for us. She did a few runs to the hospital with me and was great support for me. And we were talking, because every time there was a checkup, Larry was talking about his weight. His weight. Oh, I'm sure I gained some more weight, he said, but we knew he wasn't weight. So we were laughing today. Is this heavy? Anybody lift it? Holy crap. Denise and I figured that they put a rock in there because Larry would never weigh that amount. Like, anybody want to try lifting Larry? That is heavy. Larry was never that heavy. Larry wasn't. Anyway, poor Larry. Poor Larry. He had to put up with me. I know. Every day, Larry and I had a good laugh. Every day is worth so much. Like, every day I just love him so much. And all he did for our family and everything. Anyway, any other questions before I leave? Okay. Okay. See you guys. Thank you, everything. Bye.
Thank you very much, Bev. With that, we have a song, Never Not Remember Me, by Cooper Allen.
I know you're up in heaven, but damn, it hurts like hell. 'Cause I'd just be pretending if I said anything else. And I know God don't make mistakes, This sure feels like one that won't change the facts, that won't bring you back. So I'll cry 'cause it's over, and smile because we had you. Packed a whole lot of living even though it ended all too soon. And in time I'll start healing, but even when I get that feeling, no matter where I go or what I do, I'll never not remember you. Thank God for all the memories and pictures on my phone. They don't fill the empty, but I feel less alone. And I know you're with the angels, right where you belong. 'Cause you were one to us, you left a legacy of love. So I'll cry 'cause it's over, and smile because we had you. Packed a whole lot of living even though it ended all too soon. And in time I'll start healing, but even when I get that feeling, no matter where I go or what I do, I'll never not remember you. You lighten up a whole room like that. You made us think, made us feel, made us all laugh. You always giving that shirt off your back. I miss you bad, I miss you bad. So I'll cry 'cause it's over, smile because we had you. Packed a whole lot of living even though it ended all too soon. And in time I'll start healing, but even when I get that feeling, no matter where I go or what I do, I'll never not remember you. Oh, I promise you, I'll never not remember you.
On behalf of the families, I would like to thank everyone who attended here today and helped contribute to this celebration of life for our good friend Larry. And to Larry, my friend, this is not goodbye, but until we meet again. Thank you. Lunch will be served here, and we, because of the size of the crowd, have been told that we can reminisce and share the whole area, including the chapel. So pick up our lunch and take all the time we need to reminisce and talk with family and friends. That's what today is about. I'm going to say the grace now, and then when people pick up their lunch, we won't have to try and get their attention again. Lord, we thank you for this food and for the love and support of family and friends gathered here today. As we share the meal, help us to celebrate the life of Larry and find strength in our community. Bless us and this food to your service. Amen.